This is the luxury world. Get inspired with us today and tomorrow. Different watches are available at a variety of pricing points. If you adore the distinctive charm of extremely pricey luxury watches but feel like you cannot afford one, maybe it's time for you to reconsider. Not all expensive watches are of the highest quality. If we are being truthful, entry-level luxury timepieces are fairly affordable. Some of the best investments you can make are entry-level luxury timepieces. Timepieces at this price point are often straightforward and honest, without the frills and novelties that add extra zeros to their market value, and that only range from $1,000 to $3,000. Because of this, reasonably priced luxury watches are frequently adaptable, giving you a lot of opportunities to wear them out. The best watches from reputable everyday brands may be found in the entry-level luxury category, such as the cheapest Rolex and Omega watches. Most new watch enthusiasts will go toward less expensive selections when they first start to avoid making a large financial commitment to a standard untested hobby. However, it can be challenging to know where to begin when wanting to create a more affordable collection given the enormous scope of the watch business in terms of price, styles, and brands. In today's video brought to you by The Luxury World, we will be talking about 5 watches under $5,000 at retail that hold their value very well. If you still have not subscribed to our channel yet, make sure to do it now so you can stay updated on our future videos. What we mean by the watches that hold their value very well are the timepieces that can be traded at near or occasionally more than their suggested retail price. This is an interesting topic to discuss because we will be talking about watches that can be exchanged multiple times, that can be on both their average retail price or at a much higher price range. In this video, we will demonstrate options for good quality watches and prove to you that there are a lot available, especially at a lower price of under $5,000 timepieces that do retain their value and can be found that their value is enormous. Tudor Black Bay Harrods. The first watch we are going to discuss was first introduced back in 2017 and is still being manufactured today. This is the Tudor Black Bay Harrods edition reference 79230G. Tudor has created high-end timepieces with an excitement factor since its founding in 1946, making them an instant hit. One such model from 2012, the Heritage Black Bay, revived the essence of earlier Tudor watches while adding a fresh perspective. It was in charge of revitalizing Tudor and bringing the brand back into the public eye. Fans were especially thrilled in 2016 when the brand added its in-house movement to its Black Bay range. The brand new COSC certified MT5602 had enough power reserve to be left unattended from Friday night until Monday morning and still find it ticking. Going back to the Tudor Black Bay Harrods, this watch is not a limited edition watch, but unfortunately, it's limited in production. It's only available at the Harrods store in London where you have to place your order in person and you have to pick it up in person. Since its release, Tudor admirers have been obsessed with it. The retail price of this watch as early this January 2023 is around $4,100 and £3,370. On the other hand, the market price for this watch is around $4,300, while on the last sold listing for this watch in watch forums, it sold at $4,200. As of now, there are no listing available on other forums or on eBay that are listed below $4,000, and the last listing that we are talking about was just in the middle of November last year. Consequently, even if it has existed for 6 years already, this watch is still holding essentially at or just above its retail price, and that there cannot be a sale price undoubtedly stated for every other Black Bay that was already issued. Hopefully in the later years, the Black Bay 58 watch trades both in its up and down over its retail price in its black and blue variants. If you adore the watch, it would be worth selling a few items to make room in your collection for the Tudor Black Bay Harrods edition given the rising price and demand for it. It would be worth selling a few items to make room in your collection for the Tudor Black Bay Harrods edition given the rising price and demand for it. Grand Seiko SPB259. Next up, we have the Grand Seiko, and this is the reference SPBGV245, which is a quartz reference. This watch was previously released in 2018 and offered for a few years before Grand Seiko's production pause watch, hence it's not a limited edition. Since it has ended production, it's no longer accessible for retail purchases. Although some of the GMT watches and some of the spring drive chronograph models have historically tended to be more sporty than dressy, many people believe Grand Seiko watches is being somewhat dressy, if not formal wristwatches that serve as platforms for the company's distinctively Japanese approach to high precision, perform well at work in watchmaking. One of the most intriguing things about the Grand Seiko Sport Collection SPBGV245 is that although it immediately comes across as a sports watch, closer inspection reveals all the attention to detail in the design and craftsmanship that distinguishes Grand Seiko at its finest. The dial in particular has a superb horizontal brushed surfaces that may appear very vibrant or entirely matte depending on the angle at which the light hits it. The hands, markings, and finish on the dial itself are all of the highest quality. In terms of its last retail price, it was $3,000 and its current market price is a surprising $3,000. What makes this a fascinating watch with specific references is the fact that it was declared to be one of the three similar references, which are 243, 245, and 247. The 247 was actually a limited edition watch, but the reference 245 was the only one that has the gray dial and presently has a similar market price to its retail cost. The last sold listing for this watch was in December and that listing sold for $2,965. But if you're planning to purchase this watch as of the moment, there is no current listing available on forums, even on eBay, that sold this watch under $3,000. Compared to other references like the 243, which has the black dial and yellow hand version of this watch, or the 247 with a blue dial with a red hand version of the same watch, have not done well even though they are all the same exact movement and the same case and straps. Reference 245 is only the one that has a skyrocketed value because this is the one that most collectors are valuing and that pushes its prices in a steadily rising direction. Seiko SPB259. Let's move to the watch that has a lower value than $3,000. The Seiko SPB259, also known as the Seiko Prospex Alpinist Ginza 140th Anniversary Limited Edition watch. This is not your typical alpinist as the name would imply. It was produced in 2021, and since it was a limited edition watch, it's only produced for only 3,500 pieces and it had a retail price of $750. As a modern reinterpretation of the 1959 alpinist watch that was born as an adventurer's watch for hikers and explorers, it's very much the Seiko's alternative to the Rolex Explorer. The dial keeps the iconic 1959 alpinist modern reinterpretation format, with largely applied indices that are simple to read. For maximum visibility in the dark, LumiBright is used to fill the hour indices, center minutes, seconds, and hours hands. Its textured blue-green dial, which spans the color of 2020 and 2021 while paying homage to Ginza, is what is highly novel and energizing. The current market price is worth $1,000, and the last listing for this watch that was sold on December 30th on a forum was $1,300, and that by no means became the most expensive listing for this watch to sell recently. If you want to purchase one of these, neither a forum nor an eBay listing is available for less than $1,200. This is something different, as with this watch, you can trade it twice its retail value, and it means that it's one of the greatest watches to invest into. Omega Moon Swatch. Moving forward, we have the Omega X Swatch Moon Swatch. It was made in public in 2022 and it's still accessible right now. The production is not a restricted supply in opposition to what the lines we have seen in front of the watch stores. Swatch Group has stated that they want to produce in little amounts. However, they are simply in such high demand that it becomes challenging to find where you can buy one. This simply means that a higher demand gives a greater value to the watch. The retail price for this watch is $260, but for the market price and all the prices you can find on the listing, you may be looking to pay anywhere from $260 or more, depending on the condition and whether or not boxing papers are included to several multiples of the watch price. This watch became in such high demand that both Omega and Swatch went wild on the actual day of the watch's release. This was a worldwide event featuring two well-known brand names. The other is known for luxury, quality, and possibly the most iconic timepiece ever made, while the first is known for accessibility, irreverence, and color, and preserving the Swiss watch industry. A timepiece that is linked to one of humanity's greatest accomplishments. An accomplishment that retains all of its mystique throughout time, making a lunar landing. The excitement was tangible and contagious. It was a home run hit by Omega and Swatch when the Speedmaster was democratized in this way. It's truly a genuine icon of the watch industry. This had happened in a manner that no other company had previously attempted, and that alone and sort of watching democratization. Breitling Super Ocean Heritage 57 Special Edition 2. Last on our list today is the Breitling Super Ocean Heritage 57 Special Edition 2. We are referring to the reference number A103702A1C1A1, which was produced in 2020. The Breitling Super Ocean Heritage 57 is, to put it simply, a vintage timepiece. There isn't a screw-down crown, excessive water resistance, or a clicky unidirectional bezel. We can assume that Breitling refers to the carefree surfing culture of the 1960s and avoids any mention of diving as a result of this argument. It was a limited edition of just 1,000 pieces, and the reason it became special is that there was a black dialed variant of the same layout with rainbow indices that was limited to 200 pieces. It has a retail price of about $5,200 and its market value is $5,900. In some listings, it can range from about $6,500 or within the range, which is higher compared to its retail price. This watch is the one with the blue dial that also has a 1,000-piece limited edition that came later than the last in the listing. This one is undoubtedly a highly unique kind of turndown to put on a rainbow-colored watch, and because of the restricted supply. It's also about the fact that it kind of aids in narrating a narrative about how Breitling has restored both its own and its place in the market in recent years, which has been a beneficial explanation as to why this watch is traded for its current worth. What are your thoughts about the 5 watches under $5,000 that we featured in this video? Do you think that they hold their value very well? We would like to see your answers and opinions in the comment section. If you liked this video, we will be glad if you let us know that too. Don't forget to follow us and give us a thumbs up. Once again, this is The Luxury World, and we look forward to seeing you again in our next videos.